Section 137. Vaisampayana continued. Upon the Kuru king and Bhima, the spectators, foremost of all, endued with strength. Having entered the arena, the spectators were divided into two parties in consequence of the partiality swaying their affections. Some cried, "Behold the heroic king of the Kurus." Some, "Behold Bhima." And on account of these cries, there was all on a sudden a loud uproar, and seeing the place become like a troubled ocean, the intelligent Bharadwaja said unto his dear son Ashwathaman, "Restrain both these mighty warriors, so proficient in arms. Let not the hire of the assembly be provoked by this combat of Bhima and Duryodhana." Vaisampayana continued. Then the son of the preceptor of the princess restrained those combatants with their maces uplifted, and resembling two swollen oceans, agitated by the winds that blow at the universal dissolution. And Drona himself, entering the yard of the arena, commanded the musicians to stop, and with a voice deep as that of clouds addressed these words, "Behold, hey now, that Partha who is dearer to me than my own son, the master of all arms, the son of Indra himself, and like unto the younger brother of Indra, Vishnu, and having performed the proprietary rites, the youth Phalguna, equipped with the finger protector, gauntlet, and his quiver full of shafts, and bow in hand, donning his golden mail, appeared in the lists even like an evening cloud, reflecting the rays of the setting sun, and illumined by the hues of the rainbow and flashes of lightning. On seeing Arjuna, the whole assembly were delighted, and conches began to be blown all around with other musical instruments, and there arose a great uproar in consequence of the spectators, exclaiming, "This is the graceful son of Kunti, this is the middle third Pandava, this is the son of the mighty Indra, this is the protector of the Kurus, this is the foremost of those versed in arms, this is the foremost of all cherishers of virtue, this is the foremost of well-conducted persons, the great repository of the knowledge of manners." And those exclamations, the tears of Kunti, mixing with the milk of her breast, wetted her bosom. And his ears being filled with that uproar, that first of men, Dhritarashtra, asked Vidura in delight, "O Kshatri, what is this great uproar for? Like unto that of the troubled ocean arising all on a sudden, and rending the very heavens." Vidura replied, "O mighty monarch, the son of Pandu, and Pritha, Phalguna, clad in mail, hath entered the lists, and hence this uproar." Dhritarashtra said, "O thou of soul so great, by the three fires sprung from Pritha, who is even like the sacred fuel, I have indeed been blessed, favored, and protected." Vaisampayana continued. When the spectators, excited with delight, had somewhat regained their equanimity, Vibatsu began to display before his lightness the use of weapons. By the Agneya weapon he created fire, and by the Varuna weapon he created water, and by the Vayuvya weapon he created air, and by the Paranya weapon he created clouds, and by the Bhauma weapon he created land, and by the Parvatya weapon he brought mountains into being. By the Antardhana weapon all these were made to disappear. Now the beloved of his preceptor Arjuna appeared tall and now short. Now he was seen on the yoke of his car, and now on the car itself, and the next moment he was on the ground, and the hero, favored by his practiced dexterity, it with his various butts, some tender, some fine, and some of his thick composition. And like one shaft he let fly at a time into the mouth of a moving iron lore, 5 shafts together from his bowstring, and that hero of mighty energy discharged 120 arrows into the hollow of a cow's horn, hung up on a rope swaying to and fro. In this manner, O sinless one, Arjuna showed his profound skill in the use of sword, bow, and mace, walking over the lists in circles. And O Bharata, when the exhibition had well nigh ended, the excitement of the spectators had cooled, and the sounds of instruments had died out, there was heard proceeding from the gate the slapping of arms, betokening might and strength, and even like unto the roar of the thunder. And O king, as soon as this sound was heard, the assembled multitude instantly thought, are the mountains splitting, or is the earth itself rending asunder, or is the welkin resounding with the roar of gathering clouds? And then all the spectators turned their eyes towards the gate, and Drona stood surrounded by the 5 brothers, the sons of Pritha, and looked like the moon in conjunction with the 5-starred constellation Hasta. And Duryodhana, that slayer of foes, stood up in haste, and surrounded by his century of haughty brothers, with Ashwatthama amongst them, and that prince, mace in hand, thus surrounded by his 100 brothers, with uplifted weapons, appeared like a Purandara in days of yore, encircled by the celestial host on the occasion of the battle with the Dhanavas. Thus ends the 137th section in the Sambhava Parva of the Adi Parva.